President Cyril Ramaphosa will give a tribute message at the reburial service of struggle stalwart advocate Duma Nokwe at the Westpark Cemetery in Johannesburg. Nokwe, who died while in exile in Zambia in 1978, was a prominent anti-apartheid activist and the first black advocate admitted to the Johannesburg bar. His remains were repatriated to South Africa last year and has been accorded a special provincial official funeral status. Newzroom Afrika's Ziniko Mhlaba joins us live now with more details on this story. Good morning once again, Ziniko. Can you paint a picture for us of what is happening on the ground?
Good morning once again, Masichaba. Yes, the dignitaries and officials from national government, provincial government, but also some local authorities are now arriving, and we are set to start with the official program, which was set for 8 o'clock in the next 10 or 15 minutes. And I can tell you some of the people I've seen walking in is the Premier of the province, Mr. Panyaza Lissofi, some members of the executive, but also from the ANC's perspective, veterans of the ANC have arrived, and I'm about to speak with one of them as well, but also the SG of the ANC Secretary General, Mr. Fikile Mbalula, has arrived, and I must state that the family has also arrived. So let's get some reflections now on the lives of Advocate Duma Nokwe from one of the ANC veterans, Jeff Radebe. Sir, thank you very much for your time. I don't want to say a sad moment for the ANC. It seems as if it's going to be a celebratory mode, what that we'll be seeing here. As a veteran of the ANC, you are still alive, you are still much active in the politics of the ANC. How should the ANC reflect on its state and capabilities and role in society through the lens of the life of the advocate Duma Nokwe?
Well, thanks for inviting me and all your viewers of Newzroom Afrika. It is indeed a very sad day as we rebury one of the most outstanding leaders of the ANC, a formidable Secretary General of the African National Congress, and a real intellectual. But also it's a celebration because at the time of his death in January 1978, it was in Lusaka. So the people of South Africa never had an opportunity of really celebrating the life and times of the great Duma Nokwe. So today we are going to be honoring this stalwart of the liberation movement in South Africa.
What seems to be setting him apart is that this was an academic, this was a lawyer, this was an educated young person who joined the ranks of the ANC and fought through until his last breath in Zambia. How should the current ANC leaders, both in academia but also in politics, use those academic capabilities and qualifications for the true liberation of the current South Africans with the current issues that we're faced with, talking about unemployment, poverty, and many other issues? How do you use both the liberation, the politics, but also the academic skills for the benefit of society?
Well, I think the life of Duma Nokwe is a reflection that a person can grow from a township in Everton, not far from here in Johannesburg, and rose to becoming a Secretary General of the ANC. But his journey to this a high level of leadership in the ANC started way back at St. Peter's, not far from here, where he was a student of Oliver Tambo. Many people are not aware that President Tambo was actually a mathematics and music teacher, and one of his students was Duma Nokwe. So Duma Nokwe, inspired by Anton Lembede, the first president of the Youth League and the founder of the ANC Youth League in 1944, they started a branch of the Youth League at Fort Hare together with Mda and Joe Matthews. And as a lawyer, he became one of the first Secretary General, very young one, at the age of 30 years. So he decided that in spite of this intellect, in spite of what life could bring him, but if his people, the people of South Africa, were not liberated, he needed to forge himself into the struggle for liberation and justice. So that's what young people should emulate, this very shining example that young people go to education but never forget the plight of our people, so that we can be able to create a better life for all the people of South Africa.
How should the current veterans that are still living, such as yourself, still instill all those values we saw with the veterans of the past. We are no longer here of yesteryear, the likes of Duma Nokwe, we just mentioned also Ndade or Tambo. You are still alive and many other veterans. How should the party and the general society utilize your capabilities and skills, to revive the country, but not just beyond politics, party lines? Do you think there's sufficient space for that, and have you been given that space?
Well, indeed, people should think more than the ANC, but think about what is my contribution to the community at large. Because at the end of the day, even though people love the ANC, but we should not be focusing on the card-carrying members of the ANC, but we should be focusing on what the community of Everton, of Kwamash, of Soweto, are they getting delivery, service delivery in terms of water, of electricity? Are our children going to school? So education is the most important weapon the young people can use to liberate themselves and to build a future for our society.
Thank you very much, Mr. Radebe, for your time, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Masitshaba, that's Babu Jeff Radebe, a living legend and veteran of the ANC, just giving us, his input and wisdom, and how, the values of people such as Advocate Duma Nokwe can be used, in trying to liberate South Africa from its own current shackles. So that's where we'll leave it for now as we prepare for the official opening of the program.